This is the Red Sox POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Boston Red Sox, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Well, Tanner Houck was better, but the Red Sox bullpen falters, and with that, the Red Sox 4-game win streak comes to a disappointing end. Welcome to our latest edition of the Locked On Red Sox Postcast. I'm Steve Lennox, baseball play-by-play announcer, show host. Want to take a moment and thank the guys who led us into the ballpark, who led us into Fenway that one day way back in the 1980s just so we could get a sneak at the field. That was certainly awesome. We are providing, as you know, instant reaction, every Red Sox game on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, as well as the Locked On Red Sox podcast feed, which you know is free and available wherever you get your podcast. On our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast, we are going to discuss Zack Kelly in the seventh inning, Tanner Houck, Wilyer Abreu providing a quick response after Houck gave up a 2-out, 2-run home run in the first inning. And Lou Merloni really harped on something with the White Sox putting the bunt down with the bases loaded, nobody out in the seventh inning. Well, it worked for the White Sox, and it also set them up to add more runs in that inning against Kelly and the rest of the pen. Kind of scratched my head as Lou Merloni kept going back to that one. We do want to hear from you, our everydayers and our first-timers. Join the Red Sox conversation, watching live with us on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel. Hit that comment button and join the Red Sox conversation. You can also follow on X at Lennox on Baseball. Questions, comments, or concerns. Our latest Locked On Red Sox postcast presented by Monarch Money. Take control of your finances with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com and save 50% off on your first year. So Tanner Houck gives up a 2-run home run in the first inning. And I've said it before, Dave O'Brien is a mentor. Dave O'Brien is a friend. First Nesson reference, by the way, in our open, if you didn't catch that. But Dave O'Brien, Lou Merloni, first inning, as Matt Thaiss hits a 2-run home run to right field. Now, the wind was blowing at a brisk pace out to right field. Thaiss hits the home run off Houck with 2 outs, and Houck should not have been in that situation. And I was sort of pulling my hair out as he gives up the 2-out walk after retiring the first 2 batters in the inning. Gives up the home run. It's 2-0. Came on a 4-seam fastball in the first pitch that he threw in the at-bat to Thaiss. 6th home run that Houck has allowed this season. So it's 2-0. After the home run, Vaughn follows with a single. Sosa strikes out on 3 pitches, inning over. Then the Red Sox had a quick response. 2 errors in front of Wilyer Abreu. He comes to the plate with 2 on. He hits a home run to right field. And the Red Sox lead 3-2. Only problem for the Red Sox at that point is the fact that they did not add on the rest of the way. They got 1 more run, and that was it. And they allowed the White Sox to stick around, and it came back to bite them.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Out goes 6, and you'll take it. But not going to believe right now that Tanner Houck is back on track. I want to see this being the first of 4 or 5 strong outings in a row. Build on it. You did 2 starts ago, then you had the clunker. By the way, if you're with us on the Locked On Red Sox YouTube channel, which outing is more disappointing? You lose Houck's 2 starts this week, 16-1 to open up the week in Tampa, Florida against the Rays. You lose this one as the White Sox come from behind as they get 3 runs against Kelly in the 7th inning. Now that 7th inning, Kelly gives up a single, hits Palacios ahead in the count, 0-2, hits Vargas, bases loaded, nobody out. Justin Wilson comes in. Baldwin puts down a bunt. Casas fields it, goes to first, run scores from third. It's a 1-run game. And infield back in that situation, nobody out. With 1 out, they came in. And then Caro, the catcher, the talented young catcher, comes through the 2-run single, and that puts them in front for good. They go in front 5-4. They add on, win 8-4. But Lou Merloni was not perplexed. He was perplexed. And he was also a little, almost frustrated, wondering why they did that. He certainly was questioning what they were doing. Now, the White Sox are not a first-tier team. They've got to figure out how to produce runs. They get the bunt down by Baldwin. He brings the run in, credited with a sacrifice, picks up an RBI. Wasn't a straight suicide squeeze. A hard bunt towards first base. He got the job done. Not only did he produce the runner from third with less than no outs, he also moved the runners into scoring position at second and third, still with nobody out in the inning. And to me, get the job done. Nobody should bunt anymore. Don't give up the out. Well, you did give it up and out there, but you came through with 3 runs in that inning to go in front for good. So I didn't understand it. At first, okay, I understand it. You're playing for a big inning. They got a big inning. They got 3 runs. That's a big inning. But they kept going back to it still later in the game as Baldwin came to the plate and had a base hit in his next appearance. Don't want to harp on that too much. But the Red Sox offense had opportunities. Houck takes a no decision, was in line for the victory. Bullpen can't get it done. What's with the 7th inning in the last 2 games for the Red Sox bullpen? Weissert on Saturday and Kelly, who's pitched well, on Sunday, giving up the lead. And again, you have to put – it doesn't matter if it's the White Sox or the Dodgers. One end of the spectrum to the other end. One team you expect to win 100-plus games. The other team may very well lose 100 games again this year. But it doesn't matter who it's against. You have to play a full game. Defense, not that great for the Red Sox. And the error late by Bregman at third base. Tristan Casas, I know Red Sox fans, their patience has worn thin. Game-winning base hit, 0 for 4 at the plate. And there was a little roller up the first base side. I forget which hitter it was. But it was basically Casas at the bag, 3 unassisted. But he bobbled the ball. Still made the play. But he bobbled the ball. That's telling. Then in the 9th inning, can't pick it. Lou Merlone said, that ball's got to be picked. You've got to pick up your third baseman. The Red Sox do not pick others up in their lineup on the field with their pitchers consistently. That's one thing that I'll say. Something happens for somebody. How come the Red Sox couldn't, at the bottom of the 7th inning, pick up Zack Kelly and the rest of the bullpen? But in that 7th inning, Devers a line out, Bregman a single, Abreu a ground out, Campbell, as Wilson came in, F7 inning over. Casas, nothing. Pop up in the 8th inning. I mean, the offense in the final 3 innings, nothing. Duran, Devers, Bregman go 1, 2, 3 in the 9th against Boozer. That's your game. But that 7th inning, and again, Tanner Houck, great. Good for you. Happy. But you got to build on that. We're a long time away from trusting Tanner Houck right now. 6 innings, gave up the runs early on. Okay, leave with the lead. Great. Bullpen blows it. Ugh. Aggravating. Hit the comments, and we've got a lot of them. I'm guessing that we're going to hear from our guy Derek and Andrew the GOAT. I'm going to click on the comments right now. And there he is. Andrew the GOAT, our leadoff hitter. Terrible loss by the Red Sox today. Andrew the GOAT on this Easter Sunday, and happy Easter to all those who celebrate. Andrew the GOAT, I can't disagree with you. It is a terrible loss. You're now 3-3 against the White Sox with one more on Patriots Day coming Monday with Walker Buehler on the mound. All along I said, win 3 out of 4. You ruin the opportunity for a series sweep as you lose on Sunday. But not that it's a desperate win, but you want to feel good going into the Seattle series on Tuesday. Do you really want to be looking at the season series going 3-4 against the White Sox? And that would be the case if you lose on Monday. More from Andrew the GOAT. That was pathetic performance by the Red Sox defensively. It was. And again, Bregman makes a nice pick in the 9th inning at third, throws across, low throw. He commits another error, I believe his 5th on the season already. But Casas, again, pick him up. That's a play that should be made. You're an average first baseman. I'm starting to think that Tristan Casas is a well below average first baseman. I'm not trying to pile on. But Tristan Casas, the light has to go on. We need to pay the electricity bill, and the light needs to stay on. It's time. And it's time for you to be a productive big leaguer, a productive, consistent big leaguer. Plain and simple. There's just too many little things. And as the negatives continue to build up, Again, I had somebody with, familiar, used to work in the Red Sox organization. If you're going to take the quirkiness when he's going well, you've got to take it when he's going poorly. And that play, they got the out, but a little roller up the first base side as the White Sox hitter kind of crumbled in the batter's box. Didn't hit him. Fair ball. Casas bobbles it initially. There's something there. There really is. Andrew the GOAT, embarrassing game. How are we supposed to think the Red Sox are a good team this year? There's a lot of reasons as to why, but you're not even at Memorial Day. We're almost at the end of April. I want to see where this team is on Memorial Day. I did not pick up Locked On Red Sox postcast last year until June. And again, I've said this before. It was in a homestand at Fenway against the Phillies and Yankees where they took 4 out of 6, 2 of 3 from each team. And, last year, all the way through the end, you may get sick and tired of hearing it, but I believe they missed out on an opportunity as they had a bad stretch and a bad second half after the All-Star break. They should have been a playoff team. They should have been able to hold off Detroit and all of that. Didn't have a good series in Detroit after the All-Star break. But this team absolutely should be one of the top teams and a playoff team come October for 2025. Zack Kelly strikes again. There's our guy, Derek Smoke Dog, 1982. Box of chocolates. And again, you can't be that way. CH Ham 712, Zack Kelly is a bum. I don't think so. His stuff can, CH Man 712 wants to designate Kelly. We've had, Winkowski, Weissert, every time one of these guys gives it up out of the bullpen, people want him to be DFA'd. Zack Kelly would be scooped up immediately. Weissert probably scooped up immediately as well. Andrew's coming in again. Andrew's hot today. Andrew, I wanted you to celebrate after the victory on Saturday. Today, I'm with you in the misery, and misery loves company. CH Man 712, Yankees handle business in Tampa. They are the McDonald's of Major League Baseball. Biggest name, most money, known worldwide. Lots of nauseating filler to go with it. G's World, let's go Celtics. Yeah. Hey, by the way, Celtics in action right now as we speak on the Locked On Red Sox postcast. We'll have Locked On Celtics postcast recapping Game 1 of their first-round playoff series in the Eastern Conference playoffs against Orlando coming up a little bit later on tonight. Zack Kelly. Okay. Vaughn Grissom is coming from Derek. You know what? You know what? Smoke Dog 1982? Yeah. I'm starting to believe that you're going to see a couple of guys the message needs to be sent here at some point in time. It really does. If Vaughn Grissom continues and they're moving him around, he's playing multiple positions. He's played in the outfield. He's played on the corner at first. And if he continues to hit and these guys aren't producing at the big league level, and I'm not talking Devers, Bregman, Story. I'm not even talking Wilyer Abreu. I'm talking Rafaela, Casas. Those guys have to produce. Even, Campbell had the only multi-hit game of the game with a single and a double. And I continue to like his approach. And I did like Lou Merloni. There's something about Campbell when he takes a pitch. And Lou Merloni said it almost is painful. As he watched the pitch that comes in, he'll duck down a little bit. Not animated, but just the way he takes a pitch sometimes. It's with authority. Can you take a pitch with authority? That kind of makes me chuckle a little bit. But again, if Campbell goes in a funk, an extended funk, not just a week, because I think the way he's gotten off to the season, he's sort of earned to go forward. And Christian Campbell going down, that wouldn't solve all the woes of the Red Sox right now. Bullpen doesn't get a job from the 7th inning on. Offense did almost nothing from the 7th inning on. Very little. Tough loss. Back at it on Monday. Win on Monday. Come on. You do not want to go 3-4 in the season against the Chicago White Sox, who are going to enjoy a nice meal in Boston or on the outskirts of Boston here tonight. Patriots Day tomorrow. They'll be on their way out. They'll get a flight, late afternoon out of Boston, be on their way, and they are going out to dinner tonight, back to the hotel, thinking we can split this series after losing the first two, and we can take 4 out of the 7 meetings. We can win the season series against the Boston Red Sox. And it's almost as if, be thankful that you're not facing the White Sox from Memorial Day on, from Memorial Day through the end of the regular season, because they're going to be feisty. They're going to play for their manager. Will Venable, former guy that was formerly on staff with the Red Sox. I'm telling you, they very well could lose 100-plus games again this season. They're going to play ugly baseball on occasion. They're going to drop a bunt down with nobody out and the bases loaded, and they're going to come through and they're going to add a couple more runs on occasion. They're going to make you scratch your head every once in a while. But seriously, would not want to play the Red Sox, or the White Sox rather, Memorial Day through September, because they're going to be better. Stay healthy, continue to develop. That's how you start building the foundation, is what the White Sox are going to try to do throughout the course of this season. Numbers of the night, more on Tanner Houck as we continue Locked On Red Sox postcast. And we are presented by Monarch Money. Happy to have you on board with us on this Easter Sunday. Locked On Red Sox postcast. Locked On Red Sox, part of the Locked On Sports Network, your team every day. Again, presented by Monarch Money. Ever check your bank account and wonder, where did all my money go? Yeah, I've done that on occasion. Between dining out, yes. Online shopping, yes. And entertainment, easy to lose track of your funds. That's where Monarch Money comes in, your personal CFO, giving you full visibility and control over your finances. Monarch Money is not just a budgeting app. It's a complete financial command center. You can track all of your accounts, investments, and spending in one place, so you stop just managing your money and start building your wealth. When you start using Monarch Money, you may just realize how much money you're spending on food delivery. When you do that, you're going to budget smarter and save more. Instead of juggling multiple apps, you can use Monarch to check your finances, track spending, and even plan your long-term goals. Managing money with your partner is even smoother than ever. You can track shared and personal accounts, set goals, and stay on the same page without all the stress. Take control of your finances today with Monarch Money. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com for 50% off on your first year. Again, that is monarchmoney.com, code LOCKEDONMLB for half off on your first year. Numbers of the day coming up in just a moment. Michael checking in. Kelly is either great or horrible. Yeah. Kind of sums it up right now. Box of chocolates. They tried to get him 3 innings the last time out. But again, it's pick up Tanner Houck. And give yourself a chance to compete in there. You give up a single and hit 2 batters. And there were a lot of hit batters in this series on both sides. And I don't think the Red Sox were necessarily trying to even it out. But Kelly hitting a couple of batters, I don't think intentionally by any stretch, but just along the lines of, just guys getting hit early on in the game. And, again, another Massachusetts native facing the Red Sox this weekend. Sean Burke wasn't horrible. Gives up the 3-run home run in the first inning, but before Abreu hit that blast into the bullpen and right, 2 errors on the infield. And Burke is another guy, 25, I believe, but part of this future with this club, and ends up giving up 4 runs total, but just 1 earned run in his outing, I believe it was. Yeah, ends up going 5, throws 94 pitches, walked 3, struck out 5, and after the home run in the first inning, gives up just 1 more, as I believe Jarren Duran with a single to make it 4-2 in the second inning. Jarren Duran, by the way, numbers of the day, 7-game hit streak. It's a nice little number, but he's got a single hit in all 7 games. He does not have a multi-hit game during the course of this 7-game hit streak. So the Red Sox, again, hit a home run, 7 straight games with a home run, 12 total during that stretch. But if they picked up a win on Sunday, and they did have a 4-2 lead that the bullpen squandered, they would have won 5 in a row for the second time this year. That does not happen. Tanner Houck, read from the Boston Globe, Quote from Andrew Bailey, Red Sox pitching coach, saying Houck's problems in that awful start against the Rays earlier this week stemming largely from poor location. Okay, poor location. And that home run that he gave up, win aided or not, was poor location to Thaiss in the first inning. But Bailey also said his awful start against the Rays stemming largely from poor location and non-competitive pitches at key times. Dave O'Brien, Lou Merlone said it. You don't know if it's raining. You don't know if somebody's just kicked Tanner Houck's dog or taken his cat away from him. Very little emotion on the mound. And maybe you want to see that a little bit more. Remember, Lou Merlone during the Rays series earlier this week. Slayton pitches the ninth inning. I think it was in the 1-0 game. Was it Slayton? It was Slayton. But was it Will Middlebrooks or Lou Merlone on TV? And basically saying, I think it was on the radio side. I think it was Will Middlebrooks because I was listening on the radio, WEI, and said there's something about relievers becoming the closers and they almost become psychotic. Tanner Houck, I don't think, has that much longer of a leash here. Again, 6 innings, you'll take his outing. Gave up the 2-out, 2-run home run in the first inning. Retired 9 in a row at one point, retired 14 of the final 15. Great. Now, I want to be talking about Tanner Houck in a month, just before Memorial Day, just before the unofficial start of summer, where Tanner Houck has had, I'll give him a clunker in there, but I don't want 12 runs and 11 earned. I want, 5 innings and 4 or 5 earned runs. That's a clunker. But including Sunday, 5 of the next 6 outings, including Sunday, have to be solid, have to be quality outings. 6 innings, 3 earned runs or less. That's what you want, and that's what the Red Sox need from Tanner Houck. But that quote, non-competitive pitches at key times, I'm going to keep that one in my Red Sox notes because that's interesting to me. Let's check the comment section here one more time. Michael, in my opinion, if a pitcher hits 3 batters, he's out of the game. Yeah. I mean, it's about control. It's a lot of it is pitcher. They just, they live in the middle of the plate and away. Houck with that sweeper, backdoor slider, everything he tries to throw to left-handed batters never tries to move a lefty off the plate. And this is going on. This isn't present day. This is going back a ways now. Some pitchers try to go inside and they're borderline reckless. But a lot of big league pitchers just don't know how to pitch inside. And this isn't the last 2 or 3 or 3 or 4 years. This is going back a while now. Just don't know how to effectively pitch inside. The guys who do are getting paid. The guys who can effectively pitch inside and back a hitter off the plate every once in a while, they're the superstar pitchers present day. And Houck went upstairs with a 4-seam fastball, and a couple of White Sox hitters chased it and swung through it. The 4-seamer, 94-96. I'm not a pitching coach. I don't pretend to play one here on the Locked On Red Sox postcast. But Houck's arsenal, that sweeper, the split was good, but that sweeper, I don't like it across baseball. One more from Derek. He's going to close us out. Insiders say the Red Sox were offered a bag for Hamilton during the offseason. I heard or read that somewhere, and when I do, the insiders, it's okay from our guy Derek, Smoke Dog 1982. I don't know. I should have written that down. I think it was on TV earlier, so it might have been Merlone a couple of days ago. Buy high, or rather sell high, buy low. If Hamilton had peak value during the offseason, then maybe, because you've got other guys who can play that role too. Now, the speed is different level. Romy Gonzalez does have terrific speed. They might be neck and neck. But Hamilton, starting to get up there. There you go. Okay. Derek coming in from Section 10. Okay, the podcast. Appreciate that. TC, Tom Karen, right? Yeah, that's one. Hey, teams are going to call in Hamilton. Craig Breslow now knows that, he's got terrific value. But with the start that he's gotten off to, that value can plummet quickly. Everyday trick shots. Houck needs to go to the bullpen. I'm willing to give him a couple more. Not many, But you've got 2 starters coming back. Bayo's coming back. Giolito's coming back. So there's pressure now on just about everyone outside of the guy they name Garrett Crochet. Buehler's not guaranteed. His ERA is still over 5. Buehler's on the mound for Patriots Day. Hey, that's going to wrap it up for us. As always, we do thank you for being on board. Happy Easter to those who celebrate. Best wishes to you and your family on this Easter holiday. 113 years ago today, April 20th, 1912, Red Sox history. Red Sox playing their first ever game at Fenway Park. Win it in 11-7-6 against the New York Highlanders. By the way, I always want to remind myself of this. Red Sox and Fenway opening up 113 years ago, 5 days before Fenway opened up, the Titanic sunk. Then they made a movie. Again, enjoy the rest of your Easter Sunday. Celtics are on right now. We'll have Locked On Celtics postcast coming up after that one is over. Game 1 against the Orlando Magic. Locked On Red Sox postcast, number 1 place to hang out immediately after every game. Locked On Sports, your team, your Celtics every day.